Thank you very much. That will take us to item number 6. This is on the hearing and second reading of ordinances from our standing committees and our regional committees. I'd like to ask the clerk to read the item into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 6 is proposed substitute ordinance 2013-0112, providing for the submission to the qualified electors of King County at a special election to be held on August 6, 2013, of a proposition authorizing a property tax levy in excess of the levy limitation contained in Chapter 84.55 RCW for a period of 6 consecutive years at a total rate of not more than .1877 cents per $1,000 of assessed valuation in the first year, with annual increases by the percentage increase in the Consumer Price Index or the limitation in Chapter 84.55 RCW, whichever is greater in years 2 through 6, for the purpose of maintaining and operating King County's park system, improving parks, recreation, and mobility by acquiring open space and continuing to develop regional trails, repairing, replacing, and improving local parks and trails in King County cities, funding environmental education, maintenance, conservation, and capital programs at the Woodland Park Zoo.
Thank you very much. Because this is an ordinance, a public hearing is required. And as usual, I'd like to state the ground rules for our public hearings here at our county council meetings. 1, we ask that people planning on testifying remain seated until their public testimony or comment is over. That is, I'll call one name at a time. 2, that other members in the audience beside the person speaking not make audible noises or outbursts during the testimony or during our meeting. 3, that the public hearing and comment must be germane and relevant to the legislation before us. The legislation was just read. And finally, that comments must be on matters related to county government. With that, there are 3 people who signed up. I ask that you come forward one at a time. Mia Jacobson. Yeah.
Hello.
Please proceed, Mia.
All right, so I'm going to speak to ordinance number 6 relating to the levy of taxes to maintain the public parks. I am against this ordinance. I don't think it should be passed, and there are a couple of reasons why I believe this. First of all, I think that the decision to increase taxes was created in a conversation which was incomplete. I think that the conversation that has to do with any action of the county government needs to have the voice of the people within that conversation. As of now, the committees which create all your ordinances have no opportunity for public comment. There's no relationship between our elected officials and the people. The people have no place in guiding the legislation which dictates their society. I think that the conversation having to do with an increase of taxes needs to include why we are running out of money as a government. We need to begin to act proactively in the problems that we face, distinguish the determining factors instead of trying to bleed the citizens dry for all the money that you can. I think that there needs to be a wider conversation to address the problem that we face as a whole, as a people together, the people within government and the common citizen. I think it would be great if you guys would talk about your own salaries, how much you make, where exactly all this money is going, and why it can't be given to the maintenance of the public parks. I would like to know why your committees can't be open. Does anyone have any reasoning, any explanation as to why you feel you don't need to speak to the people or answer any questions by the people or be held accountable for any of your actions? Does anyone have no response to that? I think that it's an outrage, your behavior as our representatives. I am deeply offended by your lack of concern for where this country is headed and where you guys are responsible for this direction. Your complete inadequacy as our representatives.
Thank you, Mia, for your testimony on this afternoon. Next is Sam Bellamio.
Yeah. My name's Sam Bellamio,
No.
and I was going to say, Alex, we're a part of StandUP-America, and you had spoken previously about how...
But I just articulated...
If you're with a group, you said last week, if you're with a group, you're allowed to have...
5 minutes.
I was asked about the explanation.
Right, we can have 5 minutes. We're not...
But you explained this last Monday. Group have 5 minutes. We are group. We want have 5 minutes. You told yesterday 5 people.
Or last Monday.
Yeah,
when you were explaining the
5
rules.
minutes, and every can be spoke. 5 people can spoke minute by minute. So we have 2 people, 5 minutes. That's right. You told this last Monday. You remember? Mr. Hagen,
No, wait.
Mrs. Hagen, give you a
Please be
question.
quiet.
You explain.
No. You're out of order, Mr.
Mr.
Zimerman.
Hagen.
Well, hold on, let me explain.
No. I explained last week that at our meetings, both committee and our regular county council meetings, we have a history of providing public input from groups.
Yeah.
When we do so, the group as a whole has 5 minutes to testify, and they can divide it up into 1 or 2 or 3 people speaking within that time frame. And we have generally respected that.
Right.
So
Mia didn't
if
say she
you-
was with StandUP-America. She came up unseparate, so we came up as a group. So we're coming up representing StandUP-America as a whole. You said you give groups 5 minutes, and they can stand together.
And it's 2 of you. Generally, it's more than 2, but I will allow it.
Oh, we'll be bringing other people. No problem. Let us know how much.
Wait a minute. You're out of order, sir. You can't just have these outbursts. Go ahead.
And if I could get the clock set back to 5 minutes.
No.
Oh, you said, I thought you, hold on, sorry.
I called on you already.
Right, and you said we can speak as a group. You'll allow it this week.
Up to 5 minutes.
Up to 5 minutes. So we can get 5 minutes, and then Alex will...
As long as you're relevant to the ordinance that's
Okay.
before us.
So if I can get the clock set to 5 minutes.
Yeah, please, 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
No, now I'm going.
Thank you.
So my name is Sam Bellamio, and I'm here with StandUP-America, and I'm here representing StandUP-America as an organization, and I'm going to speak about how our taxes are being increased while our services are being decreased. You need to increase money because we need more services. However, the services we're providing are already being provided at well above what this average citizen should be paying. We're paying for extreme amounts of salaries, and I'm going to use your salaries for an example because I don't know what each parks department's salary is, but your salaries are a perfect example because the median income in King County is around $40,000, $43,000. But your salaries individually are $135,000 each. This is 3 times more. And we have many people in higher level management and many departments making over $100,000, stuff that we can provide at a much cheaper rate. So now you're telling us we need to increase our taxes so that way we can provide more services. We can provide just as many. So we can have 13 council members again if we weren't paying as much for each of you. The reason why the citizens are upset and don't want their taxes raised, or why they wanted to reduce the council from 13 to 9, was because of how much we're spending for everything that we do. You don't understand that while we have the 10,000 people homeless every single night in the street, you guys are talking about raising taxes 0.18 for every $1,000 for a park. Why are we raising more and more for every service we provide? Why can't we provide more and more services for less money? It's because we have a bloated government with too much money being spent on unnecessary things. Like you creating new rules, special rules for StandUP-America. This work that you're providing and giving people tasks to do is a waste of tax dollars that we could be spending on our youth, on our homeless. I mean... You guys you're wasting valuable time by coming in 15 minutes late. Return that money, you're making us wait. The waste and waste and waste is what StandUP-America comes and talks about every single week. You should be opening your committees up so I don't have to waste your time talking about how much money you're wasting on this particular tax, but in the committee that generated it so I can talk about other ways in which we can save money. That's what I want to talk about. That's why committees need to be open. And I think Alex wants to speak now.
It's my time.
I have 20 more seconds. Hold on. 20 more seconds just to tell you, start doing your jobs and quit getting mad at us and work with us. We need you to start working with us. We need a partnership with citizens government again. We don't need a government body dictating to the citizens how to live. We need the citizens dictating to government how we want to live and where our tax dollars go, and we should be allowed in our committees.
Gibson.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Zimerman. I represent StandUP-America. I'm a president of StandUP-America. We're talking about taxes. It's absolutely idiotic situation that I never see in my entire life. 15,000 people who work for government make more than $100,000. We have a ton of money that is we spend for crook upstairs who work for government. For example, your committee, your 9 council with all expenses costed approximately $20 million. In 2003, we cut you by 4 or 5 council, so a little bit more cut, like a 2 or 3 million, but this is not change situation, because when less council, you concentrate power. In this exactly what has happened right now, so you can make decision about taxes without ever asking people, are we want these taxes or no? We don't want taxes. Government quadruple for last 30 years salaries for many bosses. King Country Housing Authority, $200,000 quadruple for last 30 years from 50 to 200,000. Seattle Housing Authority same. $500 per hour we pay for services. What is provide Human Service Department? $500 per hour. No one attorney in state Washington, in Seattle, charge $500 per hour. It's a nightmare what is happening right now. You talk about taxes. Why you talk about taxes? Because you want to cover your expenses? What is how about you will be like everybody in Bellevue, for example, in Kirkland, in another state, council make only $1,000 per month, approximately $12,000 per year. That's it. Why you cannot doing this? When I, for example, will be council, and I go right now for position number 5, I will reduce the salary straight to what is supposed to be. You don't have full-time job. You work only 180 days per year. You're not working half of time for $135,000. What is you quadruple for last 30 years? You make decision about your money. So when you want more money, you go up. How about customer? How about people like me? How about citizens who supposed to be approve this? You work for us. You are employee. So your bosses, we supposed to be approve your salary. It's happened for the last 40 years? No. So we have a ton of money, what is we don't need. So we demand, dismiss these taxes. Because it's a nightmare, you know what it means. It's not believable what has happened with taxes right now. Absolutely too much. Government spend too much money. And statistically, government employee right now make more than private employees. Don't have a sense. Yeah, it's 5 minutes gone.
Thank you
very much.
Mr. Zimerman. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing no one, the public hearing is closed, and I'd like to call upon Councilmember McDermott to move the item.